Okay, let's talk about money. What if I told you that pretty much everything you've been taught about saving, especially that old advice to cut back on lattes, is not just wrong, but it's actually keeping you from getting rich? We're about to dive into some of the biggest money debates out there and uncover a system that flips all that conventional wisdom on its head.
We've all heard it, right? Skip your daily coffee, save $3, and boom, one day you'll be a millionaire. But what if that's just a massive distraction? This whole thing isn't about fighting over $3 questions. It's time we start asking the $30,000 questions that actually build real wealth.
And that brings us to our first big showdown, the soul-crushing, penny-pinching budget versus a system called conscious spending. One of these promises wealth through misery, and the other through total freedom.
I mean, you know the old way. It's a recipe for failure, really. You track every single cent, you stare at a spreadsheet at the end of the month, and you feel guilty for buying a pack of gum. The new way? It's completely different. It's a forward-looking plan that actually wants you to spend extravagantly, and I mean totally guilt-free, on the things you absolutely love, while being completely ruthless about cutting costs on everything else. So how does this actually work? It's all about an automated, forward-looking plan. Your money gets automatically split up, about 50 to 60% for your fixed costs like rent and utilities, 10% for your investments, and 5 to 10% for savings. But the magic, the real game changer, is what's left over. This protected chunk of 20 to 35% that is yours to spend on absolutely anything you want, completely guilt-free. All right, so if we're going to be spending consciously, we have to talk about the one tool most people are absolutely terrified of: credit cards. Are they really the boogeyman of personal finance we've all been told they are? The common wisdom says credit cards are basically a trap, right? They're just designed to keep you stuck in a cycle of high-interest debt. And look, they can be dangerous if you don't pay them off in full. But that's only half the picture. The real story is about learning how to use them to your advantage. So instead of playing defense and hiding from credit cards, this system teaches you to play offense. Use them to build a killer credit score, rack up thousands in travel rewards, and get purchase protection. So what's the secret? You automate your payments so the bill is paid in full every single month. That way you never pay 1 cent in interest, and the card becomes this powerful financial tool, not some threat to be afraid of. Okay, so you've automated your spending, you're mastering your credit cards. The next logical step is investing. But this is exactly where most people freeze up, thinking they need to go hire some expensive money guy. But do you really? Here's what most people get totally wrong. They assume a financial advisor is like a doctor, giving you impartial advice for your health. But as this absolutely scathing critique points out, many of them are simply salespeople. They're not paid to make you money, they're paid a commission to sell you their products, whether those products are good for you or not. And the cost of that advice is just staggering. A seemingly tiny 1% fee doesn't sound like much, does it? But over a lifetime of investing, that single percentage point can devour up to 28% of your total returns. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, just gone.
So you might be thinking, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. How can they seem so successful then? Well, a lot of the time, it's just an illusion of skill, and this thought experiment explains it perfectly. It's just survivorship bias. You only ever hear about the wins, which creates this false impression of genius, when really, it was just random chance. So if you don't need a money guy, what's the alternative? The answer isn't to try to become a stock-picking genius yourself. No, it's automation. It's about building a system that just works for you day and night without you having to do a thing. And this right here is the engine of the entire system. You set up an automatic money flow. So the second your paycheck hits your account, the system sends money to your investments first, then to your savings goals, then it pays your bills, and the money that's left over in your checking account, that is your guilt-free spending money. No tracking, no budgeting, and zero stress. The result of feeding this automated system is where the real magic happens. It's called compound interest. By consistently investing just $100 a month, assuming an average 8% return, that small amount can grow to over $300,000 in 40 years. Your money starts working for you, earning more money all on its own. But here's where it all comes together and it gets really interesting. After all of these debates, it turns out the biggest barrier to wealth isn't lattes, it's not credit cards, it's not even a lack of automation, it's the stories we tell ourselves about money. These are called invisible scripts. They're the subconscious rules that are running our financial lives without us even noticing. There are these truths that are so common, so everywhere,
that, like a fish in water, we don't even realize they surround us.
And these scripts, they sound like undeniable truths, don't they? Renting is just throwing money away. I'm not good with money. I need to do more research before I start investing. But they are just assumptions, and they are the real reason we get stuck. So, the ultimate takeaway from all of this is this: stop fighting the $3 battle over coffee. The real victory isn't about budgeting versus spending, or credit cards, or anything like that. It's about winning the $30,000 battle against the limiting beliefs you didn't even know you had.
So I want you to take a moment and really think about it. Is it a fear of investing? Is it a belief that you're not worthy of a higher salary? Or is it that old idea that you have to be miserable to save money? Identifying that one script could be the most valuable financial move you ever make.